Welcome to another edition of Just Trucking On Down the Line. It's me, Charles Smith. Welcome. Tonight I am sitting in lovely Allerton, Illinois. You don't know where Allerton, Illinois is, do you? Well, it's actually just across the river from St. Louis and just outside of Columbia, Illinois. Interesting thing about truck stops, not all of them are all of them are interesting places to be. Not all of them are the safest places to be. I've heard rumors about this Flying J. Sometimes they say that the neighborhood can be a little bit rough. I've stayed here a few times, never really had any problem with it. There can be all manner of persons running around in the middle of the night or in the middle of the afternoon. This afternoon, when my student and I got here, there was a gentleman running around asking for donations so that he could eat. It makes you stop and realize for a minute how fortunate we can be in this industry that we're not having to ask people for handouts in order to be able to just to get by with not even the basics, just a meal. As long as they're nice and respectful and and not harassing, I help out when I can. I realize sometimes some might say that that's rewarding bad behavior or encouraging somebody to not find a way out, but I'm not so bold as to suggest that I know what somebody's circumstances are. So if I've got a little bit of change, I help out when and where I can. Anyway, we're at the Flying J in Allerton, Illinois. We are delivering over in Earth City, Missouri tomorrow before we head back to Springfield to test my student, Kyle McEntee, who is currently in the truck stop getting himself something to eat. Kyle's doing really good. Kyle is a U.S. Marine Corps vet, and he is the husband of a real good friend of me and my wife. Hi, Kara. We're helping Kyle make the transition from a career at FedEx to becoming an over-the-road truck driver. Kyle will test on Saturday. He will do his pre-trip inspection, his backing maneuver test, and then a road trip test. And I'm sure that Kyle is going to do fine. He has been an excellent student. He has been studying hard. I feel comfortable with him driving the truck. His backing skills are pretty solid. I think Kyle's going to do really well. Don't really have a whole... I don't have a script today per se. I just have a couple of thoughts I wanted to share. Wanted to thank the folks that have followed along so far. I realize this is only my third video, but I appreciate all the encouraging words and the nice things that folks have said to me. A big thing that has come up lately here in the trucking industry is various state departments of transportation are starting to do roadside inspections of vehicles. The big thing it seems like that they're looking at right now are hours of service, since all trucking companies now have to be on electronic logging devices. Seems like they're pulling them in and checking their logs to make sure that they're using them properly and everything is being monitored the right way. And when I say roadside inspections, what that means is that a DOT officer has the ability to pull you over anywhere and do an inspection on the side of the road. One of our drivers today posted on Facebook and on my Facebook page that they were pulled over in Ohio and done a roadside inspection. I saw on another one of our Facebook pages that they were doing the same thing in New Mexico. And it's not just prime drivers, but it's basically anybody. Couple of things to keep in mind. Keep your logs accurate. I know it's hard. I know that it doesn't make sense, and many people will say that it's unfair that we're being regulated like this. But the reality is, this is what our job is, and we've got to comply if we want to be able to do the job. Accurately record what you're doing. If you have to move the truck, make sure you understand what the consequences are of moving the truck. If you move your truck, and you have not prepared properly, it will kick you into the drive line and can interrupt a 10-hour break. Prime has given us guidelines in order to be able to use personal conveyance, just so long as we're not abusing it. We're using it the way it's supposed to be used. We've been told to move to a staging area, or we're allowed to go to a truck stop to get something to eat or take showers or whatever, either while we're waiting to be loaded or while we're waiting to be unloaded. Big thing that I heard from the last time I was given a level 2 inspection was make sure you're certifying your logs every day. If you go in and they ask you to email the logs and they see that your logs aren't certified, that's a violation, and then that means that your company doesn't get a clean inspection, you don't get a clean inspection, and those CSA points go against your company, which means you're going to get called in for more inspections at other weigh stations down the road. So keep your logs accurate, make sure you certify them, make sure you're doing your pre-trip inspections and your post-trip inspections every day. Make sure that you're not giving a DOT officer an opportunity to write you up. Check everything, check your lights, check your mud flaps. The big thing when I worked for another carrier, that they said that they were hit on the most of the time was lights, tires, and brakes. Make sure your lights are right, make sure your tires are right, make sure your brakes are right, and you're going to reduce the number of violations dramatically. Most of the inspections I hear about are level 2, which is basically a light check, logbook check, those sorts of things. The level 1 is when they get into the very intensive checking all the functioning systems, checking your brakes, checking everything. If you keep up on your equipment, and we're blessed at Prime that we run fairly new equipment, if you take care of your equipment, it's going to take care of you out on the road, and it's going to keep you from getting a violation. And at Prime, if you're a lease operator, you make $100 for a clean inspection. You don't get anything if you get any violations, or if there's anything that's not right about the truck. It can be something as simple as not having your your fuel cap properly secured. If it's off, that's a violation, and they'll write it up on there. It's not going to put you out of service, but you didn't get a clean inspection, and you haven't earned that bonus that the company might pay for a clean inspection. Just be careful out there on the roads. We're moving into spring. Today is March the 4th. Yesterday there was a big tornado in Nashville. Last I heard, there were over 20 people that were dead. My student and I drove through Tennessee today. We drove down I-40 between Knoxville and Nashville, and the devastation that we saw on the side of the road was just amazing. I have never seen anything like that in person. I've seen videos and things over time, pictures of places that where damage had occurred, but this was the first time I had seen real damage like that, where you could actually see what the path of the tornado was just by all the broken trees and the destroyed buildings and things like that. There was still debris on the road in some places, because as we went through Nashville today, we were heading west on 40 and then going west on I-24, and we didn't have a lot of traffic going through Nashville, but going east on I-24, merging onto I-40, traffic was backed up for miles and miles because of things that were still in the road and impeding traffic. I just can't understate how dramatic it appeared, how it was stunning. I'd never seen anything like it. But my point to that is, we've moved most of the way through winter now. Although in Wyoming, they would argue that, being as Wyoming has had I-80 shut down like 55 or 56 of the last 155 or 160 days. That's just crazy. There was a 100-car pileup or 100-vehicle pileup on I-80 between two crashes 3 days ago now. So winter's still happening in Wyoming, but in the other parts of the country, spring is trying to happen. And yeah, that means tornadoes and severe thunderstorms and things like that. And keep an eye out for what's going on around you. If you've got a weather channel available on your radio, or if you've got your CB, Keep your CB on so that you know what's going on. Keep your weather channel available so that it can pop up an alert for you if something's coming. Because if we're driving down the road in the middle of the night, you might not know something's coming at you until it's on you. You know, our main thing is to be safe at all times. The one thing that they tell us at Prime is safety is above everything. Without it's our highest calling. If we can't be safe, we can't do all of the other things we do. We can't service our customers if we're not safe. We can't get home to our families if we're not safe. Safety is everything. Nothing that we're doing is so dramatic and so life-threatening that we can't stop and be safe. Try to find a way to get out of that nasty weather, whether it's winter weather, whether it's tornado. And it's hard to get out of the way of tornadoes, but to avoid severe weather, to take precautions when that's coming your way. Trying to think what else. Let's see. I think that's kind of all I've got for right now. My student's testing. He's going to do great. I'm so proud of him. He's going to be a great driver for Prime. He's going to be able to do wonderful things for his family. He's going to be able to provide them with financial security, and I know that that's important to him and his wife. So I want them to. I want this to succeed for him. Big shout out to my last student, Brent Dobrovitz. He's getting ready to upgrade next week when he gets done with his family vacation. He's got a special lady in his life. I hope that goes well for Brent and Elise. They seem like two wonderful young people, and I'm excited to see how that goes. Other than that, to my beautiful bride, Elizabeth, I love you. I miss you. I think of you 100 times a day. I can't wait to see you again. Stay strong. Know that I love you. Know that I think of you, and I'm doing this so that we can be together again soon. Love you. Everybody else, God bless. Take care. Be safe. Leave comments. If you got any questions, send me questions. Check out my Facebook page, just Truckin' on down the line. If any of this has helped you out, if you're not a driver at Prime, or if you're interested in a truck driving career, hit me up in the comments below. My email address is in the comments, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have. Other than that, please, again, be careful out there. Have a great day. This is Charles Smith, and I am signing out.